Welcome back to another episode of Automotive Insight. Today's repair is a 2015 Dodge Charger, 3.6 liter. Customer requested a transmission service. They were having some kind of shifting issues. Upon further inspection and test drive, the vehicle is actually misfiring. So let's check it out. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the engine cover, remove the intake tube. The hose clamps are 8 millimeters. There is an intake air temp sensor on the back side, so be careful of that. So the cylinder identification, number 1 is up front here. This is our cylinder that's registering the Misfire. This is 3 and 5. So we're just going to attempt some swaptronics. We'll inspect the spark plugs, and we'll end up moving our coil to number 5, and we'll go for another test drive. So ignition coil bolts are 10 millimeters. That's a little suspicious there. Let's pull out our spark plug. These are NGK iridiums. Pretty sure these have been replaced. So we're going to swap our spark plug to number 3, and then we'll do our coil to number 5. So we marked our coils from their original position. That way we don't get them mixed up. But we'll put our intake tube back on, and we're going to go for another test drive. So as you can see, cylinder number 5 is already misfiring. We haven't even test drove it yet, but that confirms our issue. So your repair options, you could either probably replace the coil boot or replace the ignition coil. Replacing the ignition coil is usually a safer bet. That is probably what I would recommend doing. Okay, so we went ahead and swapped our spark plugs back, and we also moved our number 5 coil back to the number 5 spot. So we got our new coil here. This is a Bosch brand, so hopefully they get another 115,000 miles out of this one. We're not going to replace the others at this time. I gave the customer an option. We'll go ahead and install this. Well, we're back from our test drive. Vehicle drives a whole lot better. It's missing that bumping feeling. There was no check engine light, no codes. It's just the misfire was enough. He was able to feel it and duplicate it, and he was also seeing it in the live data, but it wasn't bad enough to set codes yet. He lucked out, and the coils weren't underneath the intake, and was able just to easily swap the coils around to diagnose this problem. Now, we only replaced one coil. You could have probably replaced just the boot if you wanted to, but to be on the safe side, I replaced the whole coil. I also recommend it if there's another failure down the road, we'll replace the other 5. Instead of having to chunk out all the money at once, we'll see how the other 5 do. So normally with the mileage and stuff, I would have recommended spark plugs, but they had already been replaced. So the coil itself, I was a Bosch coil, which is like an OE brand. It can cost you about $57 locally to get it, and bank 1 cylinders, they're pretty easy to do. Takes you, this whole process probably takes you about 30 minutes. So anyway, well, that wraps this up. I have all your answers. Hopefully I had some. That being said, I'll see you on the next one.
Said I'll pick you up at 8. We probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
Take a minute, all your